Greetings of the day, learners. My name is Kiran Nagre. In the subject of integrated marketing communication, today we are going to talk about the food cone building model of brand communication. The Fcp model or the Fcp grid is an integrated approach to interpret the consumer buying behavior and its application for adopting suitable advertising strategy. It presented in a matrix with the help of four significant factors. The first factor is thinking, then we have is feeling, then the involvement will be two types, the high involvement and the low involvement. So in 1980, Richard Begg along with his associate developed the FCB model. So he was the senior vice president of FCB advertising company at that time, and that is why this model is known as FCB model. This model was designed with the help of the theory of the right and the left brain, as the right brain of a human body indicates the emotional attribute, so is the feeling factor of this model does. And also the left brain signifies the rational behavior of human beings. The thinking element on the left side of the matrix does the same. Now, when we talk about the FCB grid, what will be the characteristics of it? Let's discuss. So the FCB model is used to assess the thinking and feeling patterns of the consumer, which acts as the basis of strategizing advertisement. Now here two elements which are used for assessment, those are the feeling and the thinking. The FCB grid is based on the split brain theory, which we have already discussed, that it gives the working of left brain and right brain in the human beings. Now, the horizontal rows in the FCB model shows that the behavior of consumer tends to move towards thinking emotionally from being rational over a period of time. There is another row which are the vertical one. So vertical rows of the FCB grid shows us how consumer interest or behavior shift from high involvement to the low involvement and from low involvement to the high involvement over a period of time. Now, the FCB grades helps advertiser to create effective advertising strategy for each quadrant. As you can see, there are four quadrants in the figure. The first quadrant in FCB grid helps the advertising agency to formulate informative strategies. The second quadrant in the FCB grid helps them to formulate effective strategies. Then we have his third quadrant. Third quadrant helps the advertising agency to formulate habit formation strategies. And the fourth quadrant helps the advertiser to formulate satisfaction strategies. Now, we are going to talk about each and every quadrant on the four parameters. The first one, we will discuss the meaning of quadrant. Then we are going to discuss the key driver of each quadrant. Then third one will be the best strategy to advertise the products in the particular quadrant. And the fourth one, which is the most important, is the most suitable media strategy. Now let's move to the first quadrant. So the top left quadrant, which falls under the think and the high involvement category, is termed as the quadrant 1. It symbolizes the deep thinking and the high involvement level shown by a consumer before making a purchase decision. The value that a customer attach with a particular need or a product decide the purchase decision that fall under this particular quadrant. For example, if we take here is insurance product. So while choosing an insurance product, there will be high involvement of customer. Also, the thinking in investment in financial terms are very important to deal with, and that is why here we can say that insurance product will be the ideal example for quadrant number 1. Now, what will be the key driver in quadrant number 1? The demonstration act as a key driver in a quadrant number 1. The quality exhibit in the quadrant 1 is learn, feel and do. Now we think what will be the best strategy to advertise your product in which lies under particular quadrant. Then the best strategy to advertise your product will be to provide customer the complete information about the product, which includes, it has to be include the particular demonstrations too. Now if suppose for example you want to buy a car, then test drive will be the important key driver for quadrant number 1. Now the most suitable media strategy to impress your customer who belongs to that particular quadrant is to provide them some informations, printable and long copy format and also the demonstrations on. So this is why the first quadrant is also termed as the informative quadrant. Now let's move to the quadrant number 2. So quadrant number 2 includes product that requires high involvement and whose purchase decisions are based on the feelings of the customer. Now such purchases are driven by the emotion and for satisfying self and satisfying one's ego. We can take an example of purchasing of jewelry or the purchasing of any beauty products. So what are the purchase which relates in particular quadrant, and these are the decision call for convincing self during the decision making process. So what will be the key driver for quadrant number 2? So impact acts as a key driver in quadrant number 2. The quality exhibit in the quadrant number 2 is feel, learn and do pattern. So the best strategy to advertise your product which lies under the quadrant number 2, that is affective quadrant, is give to provide your visuals to provide the visuals that will have a high impact on customers' mind. The most suitable media strategy to impress the customer who belong to this quadrant is displaying the striking image in the print media or the television channels which show consumer visually. And the reason why that is why these are the reason why second quadrant is also termed as the affective quadrant. Now let's move to the third quadrant. So third quadrant in the grid signifies the regular purchase that happens as a habit or necessity to live life. For instance, we can take an example of monthly groceries. So monthly groceries purchase fall under this category. So this type of purchase is done without with low level of involvement and very little amount of thinking. If suppose you are want to purchase something which is want to purchase the grocery, you will make a list, you will go to a particular shop and then you submit your list and you will take your groceries out of the shop and take them to the home. And that is why we don't think much in the quadrant number 3 products. So as I said that because we bought those products again and again, so not much thinking is required for the purchase. Now, as we have seen, the example will be the monthly groceries. The next question arises, what will be the key driver for quadrant number 3? So, reminder acts as a key driver for the quadrant number 3. The quality exhibit in quadrant number 3 is do, learn and feel pattern. So, what will be the best strategy to advertise this product which lies under the quadrant number 3. So you have to focus on symbolic means, and there has to be some visual elements that will have a high impact on customer mind. How you can do that? So suppose you taken an example of any washing powder, you can see there will be one lightning effect will be there on the clothes, so that will act as a reminder factor or symbolic or visual element which you can attach to your product. The next point is the most suitable media strategy to impress your customer who belong to the quadrant number 3 will be the reminder advertisement and repetition of the same. You can create some jingles which are very catchy, or you can create some slogans that are very catchy to use, that will remind you about the product. And this is the reason why the third quadrant is also termed as the habitual quadrant. Now, next quadrant is quadrant number 4, which points out the purchase made by the consumer with the low level of involvement also and the feelings. So, buying thing just for the heck of purchasing or ending or the peer pressure can fall under this category of purchase. Now, such purchases are the personal preferences and can be momentary decisions also. What will be the example for quadrant number 4? So here we can take an example of fast food. The product that fall under this category are bought in impulsive manner or for personal satisfaction. So there will be some products which are eatable, just we have discuss that is fast food, or the perfume that spread the heartwarming fragrance, that can be also covered in the quadrant number 4. Now, what will be the key driver for quadrant number 4 here is attention acts as a key driver in the quadrant 4. The quality exhibit in quadrant 4 is do, learn and do, feel and learn. The best strategy to you advertise your product which lies under the quadrant number 4 is to focus on customer impulses and the preferences. The most suitable media strategy to impress customer who belong to this quadrant is through the newspaper or the billboards. And this quadrant is also termed as the satisfaction quadrant. Now, by seeing and discussing all this FCP model, what can be conclusion? So, FCP model is very rational and logical. It is highly realistic since it is based on the human psychology. The model is consistent since it does not involve discussion about changing consumer attitude but just exhibit the purchase related behavior. That's it for today's lecture. In next lecture of integrated marketing communication, we are going to talk about the IMC planning process. Till then, stay tuned and please subscribe to the channel of GS College of Commerce, Vardha e-Learning. Thank you.